The first French edition of International Behemoth Art Basel, cutting-edge work from Africa's brightest talents and a continental selection of creativity from Asia. Paris is home to at least 3 art fairs this weekend. First, to discuss the 7th edition of ACA, or also known as Africa, I'm joined by artist Thandiwe Muriu by video link from Nairobi and by market specialist Pierre Naquin. He's here with me in the studio. Hello to you both. Now, starting with you, Thandiwe, you might be in Nairobi right now, but your work's acting as your ambassador here in the French capital, shown by the 193 Gallery at ACA. You're first and foremost a photographer, and some of the work on show at that fair is from a project named Camo. Can you tell us a bit about the idea behind those images?
So the Camo series is based on my experience being an African woman in a conservative culture, a modern woman in a conservative culture. And it's just a reflection on the various challenges, especially in regards to beauty culture, that I have seen. It celebrates, first and foremost, the beauty of the African woman, but then it secondly is a commentary on how we sometimes can disappear because of what culture tells us to be. When an individual sometimes can have so much more to offer just because of their unique giftings or their unique thought process, and this is just a celebration of that.
Really striking images there. Well, let's get a better idea of your visual style. Here's a look at Thandiwe's work. Just one of the artists there on show at ACA. Now, Pierre, your company, Art Media Agency, works with fairs and galleries, and you also have an important branch that scrutinises market data. It's called Art Analytics. We've seen real growth in the African art market in recent years, hence the popularity of this fair. But give us a bit of an overview. How has the African contemporary art market weathered the recent pandemic and recessions in some countries in recent years?
So, as you said, the art market for the contemporary African art just exploded. The growth is more than 1,000% in the last 15 years. 2021 was the biggest year for the African art market in all aspects. So we studied not only the market side, so the sales, but also the exhibition part, like how many exhibition artists have. And again, that was the highest number of exhibition for contemporary African artists, and also in the press. So on all aspects of the mediatization, but also the market and the exhibition, contemporary African art has been booming, and last year was the biggest year, and we hope that this year would be the same.
Pandemic resistant, apparently.
Yes, and also fashion resistant, because when it started, everyone was afraid that this would be something that would not last. The interest for this would not last, especially because the market is very Occidental-centric. Like the people buying the works are a lot in the Western world.
It looks sustainable. Now, Thandiwe, your work has been exhibited all over the world. You're represented by a gallery here in Paris. But starting out as a photographer, did you see a commercial art scene building in Kenya or in Africa more generally? Did fine art seem like a viable career path to you at the time?
It actually didn't. I got into this because of the pandemic. I thought, if I wanted to express myself creatively, a career in commercial photography would be more fulfilling, because art just never seemed like an option. So I'm absolutely thrilled that I get to create and just enjoy personal work as my job now.
Indeed, another one who seems to have bucked the trend of the cultural hiatus during the pandemic. Now, Pierre, another event taking place this weekend is the first edition of Paris Plus by Art Basel. This major event in the French capital used to be known as the FIAC. Tell us a bit more about this international brand that is Art Basel, because they're getting a slice of the French market when they also have an important presence just next door in Switzerland.
Yes. So Art Basel is probably the biggest art fair group in the world for contemporary and also modern and contemporary art. It has been, in the making for many, many years. They started with the Basel show, and then they expanded with the Miami one and the Hong Kong one, and now they just took the slot of FIAC for themselves. and everyone felt like it could not move, and the fact that they lost the date slot was really tough on some part. And others thought that it would be a good opportunity for the French market, and I think so too, in the sense that the power of this group, MCH Group and Art Basel, is very strong, and they allow a lot of international visitors to come to Paris, maybe more than FIAC was able to. So we'll see what happened with this first edition.
Indeed. Well, Art Basel has been expanding in recent years to satisfy an ever more globalized market. We went to its newest venue, the Grand Palais Éphémère here in Paris, as its director Clément Delépine kicked things off, and he told us about its raison d'être here in France.
The fair has to reflect the French scene and give visibility to French galleries. So among our 156 galleries present at the fair, 61 have an exhibition space in France, so that amounts to about 38%. I think an art fair is not only a commercial platform or a transactional tool, it's also, more importantly, a place to meet people. And to me, it's all about these interactions that Art Basel has the power to make happen, if I may say, bringing together in one single event great art, great collectors, great galleries. That's what we're here for.
Now, Thandiwe, Clément speaks there about the importance of getting together physically to meet gallerists, to see work up close, which is a welcome return for many people after a couple of years of remote or online encounters. But as you mentioned, the last couple of years have been really fruitful for you. How would you say the digital world influences the way that you make work?
I think I'm completely a product of this new generation that lives online, and it's become almost, the digital world acts as a library of inspiration for me. It's amazing to have access to art and creatives that I had never before, just because everybody went online with the pandemic. And so it opened up this infinite world of conversations I could have with other creatives, visuals that I could look at to inspire my own work, or even just seeing the thought process, the creative process of other artists around the continent and the world.
Well, moving backwards a little bit to more analogue experiences, for those art lovers who prefer seeing sculptures and installations up close and with no screens involved, there is plenty of public art around the city beyond the fairs themselves. Now, Paris Plus has curated a programme of work in the Tuileries Gardens and in the Place Vendôme to show off the work of artists like Niki de Saint-Phal, Alicia Quade and Ugo Schiavi. That's in the streets and it's open to all. Now, Thandiwe, do you ever see people interacting with your art? Have you ever observed them, as we might say, in the wild? And how does that feel?
It's the best feeling in the world as a creative, I think. When I create my work, I have a particular attachment or thought process behind it. And so it's incredible to see other people connect with the work, sometimes with no background on why I created the images the way I did. And I think it's amazing for me as a reminder that art transcends culture, it transcends, life experiences, and it's a unifying element that can bring us all together.
Indeed. Now, Pierre, some of the names of the artists that I mentioned there, Niki de Saint-Phal, Ugo Schiavi, will be more or less familiar. Some of the names also selected to represent the booths at fairs like Art Basel or at ACA have an approximate price tag for the people who are in the know. They know how much that work is worth. According to your research, based on the work you do, how does that value fluctuate? What's it affected by?
That's a tricky question. Many aspects, and the interest for artists can vary with many reasons. I think what is interesting is to see how the career of artists are being built, and this is a lot done by the work of the gallerists, which are very important in the ecosystem of the art market. So all the promotion they do for the artists, all the exhibition, including exhibition in museum that they promote, all the press, all the marketing they do. And without the fairs, without this access, this commercial access to the works, there's no new collectors coming.
Especially in the contemporary market. So you mentioned the support of galleries being so important there and so crucial that can drive the market. For you, where or who are galleries investing in at the moment?
But we saw with the report that they're investing a lot in contemporary African art. And that's also something nice with the art market, is that everything is connected. All the geographies are connected. You can have an exhibition of an African artist in Korea and then a Korean artist in Europe, etc., etc. So this is something really new, and this is something that's a few decades old, but they're not that old.
It does certainly feel like the whole world has come to Paris this week. Pierre, thank you so much for joining us today. And Thandiwe, thank you for being with us from Nairobi. Well, a reminder that ACA and Paris Plus by Art Basel are taking place this weekend here in Paris. We'll wrap up the show with another art event. Asia Now is being held at the Monnaie de Paris, the city's mint. Their galleries from Tokyo to Tehran are showcasing avant-garde pieces, including virtual reality experiences and NFTs. We'll leave you with a preview. Otherwise, there's more arts and culture on our website and our social media channels too. There's more news coming up here on France 24 in just a moment.